You walked in, big ass grin, talking like we're friends, honey, what were you thinking?
She cries always, like if she sees any video,
Try everything.
a dog,
I don't know.
a child, she cries.
Yeah.
The only thing that I want is you.
He loves me, I love him. Look at you, just look at you now.
Selena Gomez supporters are speaking up everywhere right now, and they're not being quiet about it. A lot of them believe that her own record label is getting in the way of her shot at reaching the top spot on the charts this week. While arguments about the label's choices keep growing, something unexpected is happening at the same time. Benny Blanco, who is both Selena's fiancé and a major part of her music, is suddenly gaining a lot of praise online. People who barely paid attention to him before are now appreciating him in a completely different way. As conversations continue to spread across social media, fans have started forming their own explanations about what's going on behind the scenes, including ideas about chart blocking and strategic releases. But behind all the noise is one simple truth. This situation has turned into a mix of emotions, loyalty, relationships, and the tough decisions that happen inside the music business. On TikTok, X, and other platforms, fans are insisting that something strange is happening at Interscope Records. Many are convinced the label isn't giving Selena the same amount of attention as they're giving other artists. The main point people keep raising is that the label appears to be promoting Playboi Carti at the exact moment Selena's new song, I Said I Love You First, is fighting for the top spot. To fans, the timing feels off and looks intentional, which has led to a wave of frustration. They keep asking why a label wouldn't fully back one of its most recognizable stars, especially during an important week for chart performance. This frustration gets even stronger because of how the timing played out. Playboi Carti dropped 4 new songs on the deluxe version of his album right when Selena's project was climbing fast. Fans immediately noticed how close the releases were and felt like it hurt Selena's chances. Comments across social media show how upset people are. Some are saying things like, seeing her own label get in the way made me support her even more. Others are asking why the label didn't increase her playlisting or give her more marketing support when it mattered most. For many of her supporters, this situation goes beyond a chart position. They've been following Selena since the beginning, from her early acting career to her growth as a music artist. They've watched her find her voice, overcome setbacks, and reshape her image. Because of that connection, seeing her label act in a way that looks unsupportive feels personal. Fans want to believe the people behind her music are helping her succeed, not slowing her down. And since none of this has clear answers, more confusion keeps rising. Every new theory spreads fast, and the story becomes more tangled as fans try to figure out what's actually happening. To understand why so many people feel so strongly, it helps to look at Selena's history with her label. She signed with Interscope in December 2014, leaving Hollywood Records after years of being associated with her Disney-era image. Moving to Interscope was supposed to mark a new chapter for her, one that allowed her to create the kind of music she truly wanted. She was ready to grow beyond the roles she was known for as a teenager and establish herself as an adult pop artist. Years later, her newest album, I Said I Love You First, was released on March 23rd. This album is especially meaningful because it's a joint effort with Benny Blanco, and it hints at parts of her real life. Fans have been paying close attention to each song, believing the album reflects her past relationships, her healing, and her current happiness. Every press interview, behind-the-scenes clip, and live appearance has been talked about intensely online because people are invested emotionally. For supporters, this album feels personal. It represents her growth, her honesty, and her trust in her partner. Fans are streaming it non-stop, sharing edits, posting breakdowns of the lyrics, and doing everything they can to push it up the charts. So, when they feel like the label isn't giving the album the strong push it deserves, it becomes even more upsetting. They question why a project with such meaning for Selena and such potential impact didn't get a bigger promotional plan. A big part of the confusion comes from the fact that the album is tied to 3 different labels at once: Interscope Records, Friends Keep Secrets, Benny Blanco's label, and SMG Music, Selena's own. While Interscope is the main label, the project isn't solely controlled by them. Fans have started suggesting that because the profits are shared across multiple companies, Interscope might not be fully invested in giving the album their highest level of support. The idea is simple. If a release isn't fully theirs, they might not push it as aggressively as they would for artists whose albums they own completely. This idea got more attention because of what happened with Playboi Carti's deluxe release. Dropping brand new songs the same week, another major artist from the same label is aiming for #1 looks strange to many fans.
You previously shared on your Instagram story this year screenshots of your music videos, Wolves and Fetish. Is that a style that you want to go back into musically for the fans? Can you explain that?
I don't know if there's anything I would go back to.
Yeah.
I think there's only forward for me. And I think that's all I'll say for now.
Interesting. Is that kind of a sound that you miss?
Thank you.
That's okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Selena.
You're so sweet.
It feels like too much of a coincidence. And in a business where timing means everything, supporters think these decisions might have affected Selena's chances. The truth is that label decisions are complicated, and the general public rarely gets to see how they work. Contracts, percentages, marketing budgets, and internal priorities all play a part. But because fans don't have access to that information, they start filling in the gaps with their own interpretations. The idea that Selena's progress might be slowed down by business choices instead of genuine performance makes the situation more emotional for her supporters. While all of this is happening, another twist has been added by social media users. Justin Bieber's name is suddenly being tied into the drama. Posts began circulating that Playboi Carti supposedly FaceTimed with Justin right before dropping his deluxe tracks. That one detail resulted in a wave of new theories. Some fans wondered whether Justin had any influence on the timing or if the release was meant to overshadow Selena's moment. Even with all the online theories, the truth behind most of the situation is far more straightforward. Record labels operate like any other business, and their main focus is profit. Release dates, chart timing, and surprise deluxe editions are usually planned to bring in as much money as possible. But when fans care deeply about an artist, every decision feels personal. That emotional connection is what makes people question every move the label makes, and while the arguments continue, the story is shifting again, this time toward Benny Blanco and the way he's unexpectedly winning over the public. At first, Benny wasn't exactly a fan favorite. Some people doubted him, judged him too quickly, or didn't think he was right for Selena. But after watching his interviews and seeing how he talks about their relationship, many people are rethinking everything. Fans who once side-eyed him are now openly supporting him, saying they misjudged him and finally understand why Selena chose him. A big part of this change comes from how openly he talks about his feelings. In his interviews, he has described the effort he puts into making Selena feel loved. Tiny gestures, thoughtful communication, and the way he considers her emotions before anything else. People appreciate how sincere he sounds. Comments online show how strongly fans reacted, with many saying they now see him as someone who truly deserves her. This shift in public opinion is huge. People who once focused on his looks or questioned his background now talk about how emotionally steady, mature, and kind he is. They see a man who follows through on what he says and who puts Selena's happiness at the center of everything. Even though the label controversy is still a big part of the conversation, Benny's honesty and affection have added something uplifting, giving supporters something positive to hold on to during all the confusion. His interviews didn't just improve his image, they completely transformed it. He spoke about how being with Selena changed his view of relationships and marriage. Before her, he didn't feel a need for formal commitment, but he explained that she shifted the way he sees love, and fans were excited to hear how genuinely he's grown. His words made him seem grounded and thoughtful, and people responded instantly. He also talked about showing love in small, everyday ways, even when he and Selena are apart. Whether it's messages, calls, or little surprises, he said he tries to make sure she always feels cared for. Fans loved how real and unpolished he sounded. Soon, social media was filled with people praising him, saying that focusing on his appearance had made them overlook what really matters: his character. Because of these moments, the tone around him has completely changed. While many supporters are still annoyed about the label's decisions, they can't help cheering for Benny. People have been calling him a legend, a breath of fresh air, and even saying he becomes more appealing the more he talks. His honesty and commitment stand out strongly against the chaos of chart battles and speculation, turning him into a bright spot in the middle of the controversy. Under all the drama and theories, one thing about the music world stays the same. Everything revolves around money. Labels invest in timing, strategy, and promotional efforts that help them earn the most. When an artist releases an album through several labels, like Selena did with I Said I Love You First, things get even more complicated. Different companies split the earnings, which can affect how much support each label gives. Deluxe releases, bonus tracks, and sudden drops aren't unusual. They're part of the system. When Playboi Carti released 4 extra songs during a week when Selena's album was rising, many of her supporters saw it as intentional. But in the business world, this kind of timing happens often. Labels want to keep streams and attention going strong for as many artists as possible, especially ones fully under their own umbrella. For Selena, this means her final chart position depends on more than just fan support or musical quality. It also relies on decisions made by people behind the scenes, decisions she doesn't control. Talent matters, but timing and business choices can easily shape the outcome. And while fans argue about fairness and motives, the label's main concern stays the same: doing what brings in the most revenue. So, where does that leave Selena and everyone supporting her? On one side, there's frustration over release schedules, promotion, and the idea that she isn't being backed the way she should be. On the other side, there's something much more positive: Benny Blanco's sudden rise in people's hearts. The way he speaks about Selena, the clear care he shows, and the way he carries himself have completely changed how the public sees him. For many fans, he has become a reminder that real love can shine through even when the industry feels harsh. This entire situation shows that making music isn't only about talent. Timing, strategies, and label politics can influence success just as much as the songs themselves, but it also proves that genuine emotions can still stand out, even in a world driven by numbers and marketing. Benny's affection and sincerity have created a balance in the narrative, giving supporters a reason to smile during a complicated moment. At the end of all this, the story becomes about more than chart positions. It becomes about loyalty, connection, and how personal lives intersect with an industry built on business. Fans are frustrated, yes, but they're also celebrating the love they see between Selena and Benny. It's a mix of confusion, admiration, and hope.